There comes a point where your soul stops pretending. The noise of the world still hums around you. Screens flashing, people talking, time moving, but inside everything stands still. You move through your days like a shadow of who you once were. You wake up, scroll, eat, work, repeat. As if living has become a ritual of surviving. The dreams that once kept you awake at night now lie somewhere buried beneath your routines. The hunger, the drive, that raw pulse of life, it's gone quiet. Not dead, just dormant. Somewhere along the way, the fire that once defined you dimmed, replaced by the dull ache of fine. You tell everyone you're okay. You smile in photos. You laugh at jokes, but deep down there's a heaviness you can't explain. A part of you knows you've stopped living and started existing. You've been chasing things that don't touch your soul. You've surrounded yourself with noise, mistaking it for peace. You've run from stillness because it reminds you how far you've drifted from yourself. And that's the truth most people never face. We fear silence because it exposes everything we've ignored. But then one morning or maybe one night when everything feels unbearably heavy, something inside you cracks open. You stare at the ceiling, your phone glowing on the table, your heart whispering a quiet rebellion. Enough. Enough running. Enough pretending. Enough drifting through your own life like a ghost. That whisper isn't weakness. It's your soul remembering what freedom feels like. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." You've read it before, maybe even shared it, but this time it hits differently. It isn't a quote. It's a mirror. You see how much of your control you've given away to distractions, to comfort, to the illusion of being busy. You see how the world's noise has numbed your instincts, how your purpose has been hijacked by convenience. But in that same reflection, something else emerges. Clarity. Because the truth is, you can always take your power back. To reset isn't about starting over. It's about pausing the noise long enough to hear your own voice again. To restart isn't about becoming someone new. It's about burning the version of yourself that settled, that played small, that forgot his fire, and rebuilding from your scars, not despite them. To refocus is to aim your life toward what's real again. To silence every useless thought, every false voice, and return your attention to what truly matters, your growth, your discipline, your soul. You're not here because you're broken. You're here because you're tired of pretending to be fine. You've been drained by chaos, stretched thin by the weight of expectations. And somewhere deep down, you're aching for air. Not the kind that fills your lungs, but the kind that fills your life. This isn't just motivation. This is resurrection. It's the quiet uprising of your own spirit. The moment you stop being who the world shaped and remember who you were meant to be. So before we begin, take a breath. Not the shallow one you take when you're rushing, a real one. Let the noise fade. Let the chaos melt. This is your turning point, your moment to reset, restart, and refocus. And if you feel this in your chest, if some part of you knows this is your time, write this in the comments. I'm done living small. I'm rebuilding stronger because from this point forward, the noise ends here. Now, let's get into it. Reset. Clear the noise. Face yourself. Reset isn't about running away from the world. It's about stopping long enough to face the reflection you've been avoiding. It's not about quitting. It's about confronting. It's that brutal quiet pause where everything you've been distracting yourself with finally collapses. And all that's left is you. The version that hides behind the scrolling, the endless notifications, the cheap bursts of fake connection. Reset is when you finally let the silence speak. Most people never make it here. They run from silence like it's a curse. They keep their minds loud enough to drown out the voice inside that keeps whispering, "You're not where you're meant to be." So they keep scrolling, keep pretending, keep laughing at things that don't even move them anymore. But silence is sacred. It doesn't lie. It cuts through every excuse and shows you exactly what you've become. That's where reset begins, in that stillness where every mask starts to crack. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." But what he didn't say is how hard it is to admit how much power we've already given away. To opinions that don't matter, to timelines that rush nowhere, to people who drain you just so they won't feel empty alone. Reset is the moment you reclaim that power. When you pull your attention out of the chaos and turn it inward where it always belonged. Reset means unplugging, not just from your phone, but from every false sense of importance that's been controlling you. It's deleting what doesn't grow you, cutting off the noise that keeps you numb, and walking into the kind of silence that feels like both death and rebirth. Because it is. It's the death of your false self. The one that lived for validation, applause, and the illusion of belonging. The one that kept smiling just to survive another day. Reset buries that version of you. And when it does, the air tastes different. You start breathing truth again. And yes, it's lonely. Don't let anyone romanticize it. Reset feels like standing in an empty room with no sound, no certainty, and no one to save you. It's raw and it hurts. But beneath that ache, something ancient begins to wake up. Something that remembers who you were before the world told you who to be. That's when peace appears. Not as noise, not as comfort, but as a pulse, a quiet strength that says, "I'm still here." People will misunderstand your silence. They'll call you distant, cold, selfish. Let them. Because what they're really saying is that they miss the version of you who put them above your own soul. They miss your compliance, not your company. Reset isn't isolation. It's purification. It's burning every false attachment until what remains is honest, clean, and unshakable. And in that stillness, you'll see it. Your reflection unfiltered. It won't be perfect. It'll be scarred, tired, maybe even trembling, but it'll be real. You'll see strength where you once saw weakness, clarity where confusion lived, and peace where chaos ruled. Reset doesn't give you a new life. It gives you your life back. This is where transformation begins. Not in the noise of progress, but in the quiet confrontation with yourself. It's the sacred pause before the next chapter, the moment your soul stops running and finally turns to face its own truth. And when that happens, tears may fall. Memories might ache. But through all of it, something unbreakable begins to rise you. Because the one you've been searching for has been waiting in the silence all along, waiting for you to stop running, to breathe, and to finally come home. Restart. Turn your pain into fuel. Restart isn't about erasing the past. It's about standing in its ashes and realizing you're still here. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every sleepless night that tried to break you has now become part of your armor. The world threw fire at you. And somehow you learned how to breathe through the smoke. Restart isn't denial. It's defiance. It's the quiet rebellion that begins when you stop asking why me and start saying try me. Because the truth is everything that wounded you also revealed you. You didn't just survive it, you were shaped by it. Modern life teaches you to move on too fast, to hide your pain behind fake smiles, to scroll past your emotions like there's something inconvenient. But Stoicism teaches something deeper. It doesn't ask you to forget the pain. It demands that you face it and use it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way." Those words aren't decoration. They're a command. Every obstacle that once blocked your path is now the path itself. Every scar is a road map leading back to your strength. Restart means you stop running from your wounds and start walking through them slowly, deliberately, like a soldier crossing a battlefield. You stop wishing for an easier life and begin building the power to endure a harder one. You stop waiting for others to understand your struggle because you realize they don't need to. This is your fire, your crucible, Your lesson. Pain isn't the enemy. It's the mentor that never lies. It strips you of weakness, burns off illusion, and shows you exactly what you're made of. Restarting doesn't come with music or applause. It comes with silence, sweat, and the sound of your own breath. As you rebuild, brick by brick, habit by habit, standard by standard, you start cutting away what no longer serves you. The draining conversations, the cheap validations, the people who only show up when they need something. You delete numbers, close doors, walk away without bitterness. You look in the mirror and say, I forgive you, but we're not going back there again. That's when real healing begins. Not when you forget, but when you stop bleeding over the same wounds. Every man who has rebuilt himself has stood in that same fire. Every one of them has felt that breaking point. When you realize nobody's coming to rescue you, that moment of silence where despair turns into resolve, that's when he becomes unstoppable, because pain once faced becomes fuel. It hardens your resolve. It sharpens your discipline. It transforms your suffering into strength. Restart isn't gentle. It's brutal. It's the moment you drop everything that's been killing your soul, the weight of old relationships, outdated dreams, shallow ambitions. It's standing over the grave of your old life and whispering, thank you for the lessons. I'm done carrying the dead. You don't restart because life was kind. You restart because you refuse to die in the same place you were broken. And yes, people will misunderstand it. They'll call you heartless for walking away from what's familiar. They'll say you've changed. They'll try to shame your silence. Let them. While they recycle the same pain year after year, calling it comfort. You'll be building something they can't even comprehend. A life forged in fire. A mind tempered in solitude. A heart that no longer breaks at the same hands. Restart isn't for the faint. It's for those who've seen the darkness and chose not to live there. You've already been through hell. And if hell couldn't destroy you, nothing will. So rise with your scars. Let them remind you that you're not fragile. You're forged. Let the pain that once crushed you become the force that lifts you. Because the restart doesn't begin when you heal. It begins when you decide you're done being haunted. It's when you stop waiting for the world to fix you and start building yourself stronger than before out of everything that tried to end you. Refocus. See through the chaos. Once you hit reset, the real war begins. Not the world outside, but the war for your own attention. The moment you rebuild, the chaos doesn't vanish. It mutates. It slithers back, wearing new faces, fake emergencies, empty noise, endless comparisons that whisper, you're not enough. It doesn't scream at you. It seduces. And if you're not careful, you'll find yourself scattered again, chasing shadows, pouring life into things that don't even matter. Refocus isn't a task, it's a reclaiming. Your attention is your currency. And if you spend it on the trivial, you bankrupt yourself. Epictetus nailed it. A man without a destination will let every wind decide his course. Without focus, every door seems like opportunity. Every distraction masquerades as purpose. Refocusing isn't about cramming more into your day. It's about cutting deeper than ever. It's the quiet brutality of saying no to what weakens you so you can pour everything into what fortifies you. Guard your mornings as if they were sacred temples. Stop explaining your goals to those who haven't built a single one of their own. Stop wasting energy on proving your value, because a man moving with true direction doesn't need applause. He moves in silence, precise, unstoppable. The world is a predator feeding on your attention. Every scroll, every click, every argument designed to provoke keeps you scattered, reactive, shallow. The Stoic mind steps back, breathes, observes. Noise becomes background. Necessity comes forward. That's focus. Not frantic motion, but deliberate clarity. When you refocus, you remember what is sacred. Your mind, your craft, your peace. With a sharp mind, no distraction can seduce you. With clear goals, chaos becomes irrelevant. You stop hunting for approval and start hunting mastery. Time stretches. The world slows. Suddenly, the important things stand out. The moments that shape you. The actions that define you. The decisions that echo in eternity. The rest fades like smoke. Look around. Everyone is fragmented, torn into 1,000 directions by voices that demand nothing but pieces of them. They chase trends, approval, fleeting sparks of excitement that vanish the moment they arrive. They're exhausted, running on fumes, believing that effort alone will carve their destiny. But effort without focus is self-destruction. It's pouring water into a sieve, confusing motion with progress. Most people are not building, they're scattering. They're working hard at being everywhere yet present nowhere. That is not ambition. That is madness. Refocus is the antidote. It is the steel-hard decision to be ruthless with your energy, selective with your time. Every second wasted on the trivial is a theft from your purpose. The Stoics understood this. They knew the world's designed to scatter you, to fragment your soul, to make you forget what you are fighting for. But a disciplined mind pierces through. It doesn't react to every provocation. It doesn't chase every shiny object. It knows the path, and nothing, not fear, not failure, not doubt, can derail it. When you refocus, you become a force. Not loud, not aggressive, but immovable. Others will try to sway you with drama, insecurities, gossip. You will glide past, untouched. Obstacles will rise. You will step over them. Stride unbroken. Doubt will knock. You will meet it with calm that unnerves. A focused man is a fortress. He doesn't give entrance lightly. And most things do not even deserve it. When the world shouts, he listens. When it tempts, he walks past. He is unshakable. Because focus is not a habit. It is a fortress built in silence, layer by layer, until nothing outside can penetrate the clarity within. Rewire. Train your mind to think differently. You cannot rebuild a life with the same mind that burned it down. Resetting your surroundings is simple. Throwing away the old, starting fresh. But rewiring the mind is war. It is mental combat fought in silence, in shadows, in moments when no one is watching. Every fear, every habit, every loop of thought that has kept you trapped is a soldier on the battlefield. To rise again, you must reprogram it thought by thought, choice by choice. The Stoics understood this. Your mind builds your world. And if your inner architect is weak, the house you construct will crumble. But today, your mind is under siege, hijacked by comparison, by endless notifications, by the subtle venom of other people's lives masquerading as yours. Rewiring is taking back the fortress. It is questioning every impulse, dismantling every lie that keeps you small, and forging a mind that refuses to settle. An undisciplined mind is the deadliest enemy you will ever face. But a trained mind, oh, it is the sharpest weapon you will ever wield. Rewiring doesn't announce itself. It hides in the quiet, in the ordinary moments, in the resistance to temptation. Every second you resist the pull of distraction, you are strengthening the steel of your attention. Every time you sit with discomfort instead of fleeing, you are laying the foundation of power. Every moment you choose discipline over ease, you are chiseling new pathways in your brain, carving a road away from weakness and toward mastery. This is slow. This is invisible, but it is irreversible. The old mind fights. It claws. It screams. It rages against the change you demand of it. The patterns that once held you hostage will claw their way back into consciousness, whispering comfort, promising numbness, flirting with your old self. But the Stoic mind does not bargain. Pain is not a punishment. It is instruction. Repetition is the forge. You become the thing you practice relentlessly. Strength is a habit and you will repeat it until the sinews of your mind are unbreakable. Here is the raw truth. Rewiring is agony. Your brain will throw tantrums, screeching for old patterns, for easy escapes, for fleeting pleasures that brought nothing but emptiness. It will tell you you cannot. That consistency is impossible. That transformation is a dream meant for someone else. And in those moments, you will stare back at that voice and say, "You are not me." That voice is your old self, trembling at obsolescence, unwilling to surrender control. You will take the reins and you will lead. Be your own drill sergeant. Catch weakness mid-step and crush it immediately, reaching for your phone out of boredom. Stop. Sit with the stillness. Embrace the void. Falling into spirals of doubt? Stop. Redirect. About to complain, excuse or regress? Stop. Choose accountability. Not for applause, not for recognition, for survival. Each act of resistance rewires your mind. Each refusal teaches your brain a new law. You are the master here. Not your cravings, not your fears, not your past. The Stoics called it premeditatio malorum. Anticipating the chaos before it strikes. They rehearsed adversity, imagined storms, trained their minds to remain unmoved. You must do the same. Begin each day in silence. Picture the moments that will test you. See yourself choosing strength before the world demands it. Feel discipline before it is required. This is mental conditioning at its purest. You are no longer praying for courage. You are becoming it. And slowly, inevitably, the shift occurs. The thoughts that once held you hostage lose their grip. Fear once paralyzing becomes a tool. Doubt once deafening turns into whispers. Your mind becomes your weapon, your shield, your domain. You are no longer the person you were. That version is ashes. You have rebuilt yourself from thought to thought, moment to moment into someone sharper, stronger, unyielding. The old you is gone. And there is no mourning for him. Only the relentless thrill of what you have become. Reclaim. Take back your time, energy, and control. Once your mind is rewired, the war isn't over. Now the battlefield is the world outside. The chaos, the noise, the endless hands reaching for pieces of you that you can no longer afford to give. Everyone wants your attention. Everyone wants a slice of your time. And if you're not ruthless, you will spend your life feeding other people's hunger while your own purpose starves. Reclaiming is not selfish. It is survival. Seneca said it plainly. Nothing is ours except time. And yet most surrender it like it's infinite, handing it over to gossip, to petty arguments, to the endless scroll that eats days while leaving your soul hollow. You cannot build a life when your energy leaks everywhere but into the work that matters. Reclaim your mornings. Make them sacred. No phones, no distractions, no outside validation. Just breath, silence, and the quiet discipline of being present. Reclaim your focus. Stop explaining your vision to those too blind to chase one of their own. Reclaim your boundaries. Guard your peace like it's the last fortress standing, because it is. Weak men are always busy. Real men are deliberate. Reclaiming control is not about doing more. It's about doing only what matters. Cutting the noise, leaving the unnecessary behind, walking away from what does not serve your growth. There will be voices that call you cold, distant, arrogant. Let them. They will never understand that solitude is not loneliness. It is self-respect. You cannot build calm in the storm. Sometimes the only way to protect your inner world is to walk alone until it is strong enough to welcome others again. Reclaim your energy or watch the world take it from you piece by piece until there is nothing left. Look closer. The thieves of your time are not out there. They are inside your own decisions, saying yes when you mean no. Staying in rooms where your presence is unnoticed. Entertaining conversations that drain you. Giving your energy to people who would not give 5 minutes of theirs. You bleed. You exhaust yourself. You wonder why you are hollow and tired. The truth is simple. You never learned to say no. You never treated your time as the finite sacred force it is. And now you pay the price. Reclaiming your life begins with ruthless boundaries. You choose who enters your world and who stays out. You stop answering every call, responding to every message, showing up to every demand. Availability is not a virtue when it costs your peace. Those who matter will understand. Those who do not, their entitlement, their guilt, their refusal to respect you will reveal themselves. And that is perfect. For now the path is clear. You know exactly who must be cut off. This is where most fail. They speak of boundaries but they do not enforce them. They claim to protect their energy yet engage in every argument, every drama, every distraction. Reclaiming is not a philosophy. It is a daily act of war. It is waking up each day and deciding today I give my energy only to what elevates me and living that truth. Your mornings belong to you, not to notifications, not to breaking news, not to crises that are not yours. The first hour of your day shapes every second that follows. Pick up your phone first thing and you've already surrendered your power. Handed your focus to the world and allowed outside forces to dictate your mood, your energy, your actions. Guard that hour. Begin with silence, with breath, with movement. With deliberate intent. Build a fortress around it because your day is won or lost there. And remember, some people are energy vampires. They carry problems they refuse to solve. Drama they cannot release. Negativity they brandish like a flag. They will try to pull you into their world. Let them go. Not with anger, not with explanation, but with quiet, unwavering resolve. Your purpose is sacred, your energy precious. Protect them like your life depends on it. Because it does. Reinvent. Become the man you were meant to be. The moment comes when the man you were is no longer enough. When the life that broke you, the betrayals that cut deep, the nights spent staring at nothing, waiting for a sign. They stop being wounds and become fuel. Reinvention isn't a fresh coat of paint. It isn't learning to wear a mask better. It is fire. It is ash. It is the raw unrelenting excavation of everything weak, everything borrowed, everything that ever held you back. Life has humiliated you. It has tested you to your bones, stripped you of illusions, left you hollow. And in that hollow, something stronger began to grow, something patient, something relentless. This is not punishment. It's preparation. Every heartbreak, every quiet defeat, every lonely morning became the forge for a man who could not be bent, broken, or bought. You learn to walk differently, not louder, not faster, but heavier, more certain. Your silence carries weight because it no longer shields insecurity. It exudes mastery. You no longer fight for attention or approval. The world can scream, scorn, or doubt. It barely registers. You have rebuilt from ruins. You speak less, but the air around you listens. Every step is deliberate. Every choice an echo of someone who has stared into the void and returned sharper, calmer, unshakable. Discipline is no longer a struggle. It is a sanctuary. Focus is no longer a burden. It is liberation. Pleasure is no longer a chase. It is a ghost that doesn't touch you because your purpose burns brighter. This reinvention is quiet, almost invisible. You do not parade your victory. It is carried in the subtle shift of your presence. Those who underestimated you feel it before they see it. A weight in the room, a calm fire behind your gaze, a stillness that speaks of someone who has survived hell and learned its lessons. They might call you colder, harder, unrecognizable. Let them, the man they knew, the one who laughed too much to hide pain, who bent backward for approval, who surrendered himself for comfort. He was dying softly inside while they were unaware. This man, he is alive, unapologetic, boundaried, focused, self-possessed. The version of you that survives is not for the faint-hearted. It is not for those unwilling to be left behind. Reinvention is the ultimate rebellion. You stop following the script written by others. You stop chasing what society tells you to want. Titles, possessions, fleeting admiration, they dissolve in the wake of something deeper. Real strength comes from the quiet mastery of self. Growth becomes addiction. Discipline becomes freedom. And each day you rise above the man you were yesterday. The legacy you build cannot be touched, borrowed, or erased. There is no applause in this work, no spotlight. Only the patient construction of a character so resilient that the world's chaos bounces off it harmlessly. This is a metamorphosis that doesn't scream for recognition. It thrives in silence, in shadows, in the unobserved corners of life where character is forged. It is the choice to stand alone, to hold the line, to protect your peace against every storm. It is the calm certainty of a man who has survived his own worst fears, who has burned the versions of himself that played small, who waited for no permission to live. You rise from those ashes not as a copy of who you were, but as a man entirely designed by the fire you endured, unbreakable, unstoppable, unmistakably yours. This is reinvention. Not a mask, not a performance. A quiet revolution that blooms in every decision, in every restraint, in every silent victory when no one is watching. You carry strength like armor, purpose like a blade, and peace like a fortress. You have become the man who cannot be shaken. The man who no longer bends for comfort, the man whose presence alone is proof of transformation. This is not survival. This is ascension. You are not the man who feared his potential, who sought approval, who settled quietly. You are the man who forged himself in fire. And now rising from the ashes, you are absolute. You are your own creation. Live it. Own it. Breathe it. This isn't a speech. It's a mirror. Every word, every pause pulls you back to what you already know. You are not finished. The world tried to crush you. The noise tried to drown you. Weakness tried to claim you. But you chose differently. You chose fire. You chose silence. You chose strength. Now is the time. Not tomorrow. Not later. Now. Discipline is not a choice. It is your blood. Focus is not a habit. It is your weapon. Peace is not given. It is carved through the struggle. You've reset, rekindled, refocused, rewired, reclaimed, reinvented. Every morning tests you. Every challenge calls you. Every act of discipline lays a brick in the fortress of your purpose. This is ignition. Transformation is not a destination. It is every painful, lonely, relentless choice you make to rise when everything inside begs you to quit. The man you were, let him rest. Honor him for the pain, for the lessons, for the scars, but do not return. You've tasted what control feels like. You've walked through the fire of discipline, clarity, and peace. Once you've seen this, mediocrity no longer tempts you. You've crossed the threshold. On the other side is the life you were meant to own. Walk forward, head high, heart steady, purpose clear. Life will test you. People will doubt you. Let them. You are building this for yourself. For the man you promised you'd become, for the life you swore to claim, for the legacy you will leave. Your work is done. Now live it. Reset, restart, refocus, rewire, reclaim, reinvent. Fear cannot touch you. Doubt cannot shake you. The past cannot hold you. You are the architect, the master, the warrior forged in fire. The old you dies here. The new you rises, unshakable, unstoppable, unbreakable. This is your rebirth. Welcome to the rest of your life.